Hello everybody and welcome to my 2021 reading journal flip through. I am basically a first time reading journaler for this year. I haven't really done this before other than honestly during quarantine I got really bored and then I decided to start journaling, and it has been so much fun and I've absolutely loved it. So starting on the left here, I have a kind of ugly grid spacing chart thing, and then on the right I just have a nice little quote, "Let new adventures begin." So I ended up putting in my year in Polaroid spread. Also a bit of a disclaimer, I'm gonna be showing you kind of starting September 2020 because I started this journal in September and I figured I'd just flip through all of it. So here we have September 2020. This is actually one of my nicer spreads, and especially given it was my first spread, I think it turned out really well. At this point, it wasn't as much of a reading journal as it was just a bullet journal. So I have kind of the typical bujo spreads of calendars and weekly spreads. So yeah, this is just how I started out. Now we move into October, where I did a bit of a Harry Potter theme. It ended up, again, turning out better than I had planned, and I really actually love this mood tracker and habit tracker. I wrote those house points by hand, and it just ended up being so nice. Then I have a playlist, and that was another really hard doodle that I am really glad ended up that way, that Dementor. But yeah, here we just have our weekly spreads of October. Moving into November, not one of my best works. I feel like this one is a bit lazy, but yeah, that's November. I did really like this rocket that I doodled, that little thing on the side, but yeah, this one could have been better. I also have some TV shows I watched in 2020. I think I was just nearing the end of the year, so I fit that in. But here we're moving into 2021, and let's flip through this guy. Now this 2021 title page is atrocious, so let's turn that page. We do not need to see it any longer. There we go. So here we have, now this is an actual reading journal. This is the typical bookshelf, and then on the left side I was writing the titles of the books, so I actually ended up reading way more books than I thought I was going to, so I needed extra space. That's why you see that sticky there, and you'll end up seeing another bookshelf later on. Here we have a series and anticipated releases spread, another really ugly spread. Don't need to look at that any longer. This is 21 books for 2021, and I think I just ended up highlighting the ones that I did read. Pretty basic. Okay, so for January, I didn't have a title page. Clearly didn't know what I was doing, but I have a days read on the left and then my TBR on the right. And then here I have a calendar, so as you'll see, I do end up keeping calendars for some of the months, but later on I get rid of that because I wasn't really using it. And then we just have my favorites of the month. Now here, I ended up mixing things around because I, again, didn't really know what I was doing. But here's a bit of a reading overview where I just kept track of the genres of books I was reading, adult, young adult, or the author gender. And obviously, anytime I'd read a book, I just tallied in there. And then, honestly, the next few spreads are ugly, so we don't need to focus on them. Some habit tracker stuff that I also get rid of later on. Ugly spread, don't need to talk about that one. And now we move into February. So February actually is one of my nicer spreads. I think I actually put some effort into this one. And yeah, I kept track of the days that I read. Next page is my TBR. And then I have the favorites of the month, where I just ended up doing a one-page spread. Not a good idea, and also quite ugly. And then we have a calendar at basically the end of the month, so yeah, not the most useful, but that's what we went with. And then we have March. March is a really simple spread. I honestly get so much inspiration from so many other bujo YouTubers, and I think this one was from Amanda Rachel Lee. She did I think the same thing in March, or like I did the same as her. So yeah, that's what that is. And here I'm just pointing out that I forgot to do a favorites of the month, so I ended up writing my favorites of the month in the notes there. So yeah, as I keep saying, the first few months are really all over the place. And then we have April. This is a nice little hot air balloon spread. Again, like starting at this, like the start of these months, I was really kind of, I guess, experimenting with my doodling and how I wanted my bujo journal, to look. So yeah, these are just some things that I ended up doing. I do like this favorites of the month, actually. It's very simple but nice. And then we have May. May is actually one of my favorite months. This is when I actually started experimenting with washi tapes and some more designs and things like that. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. And then again, yeah, just Days Read on one side, TBR on the other, and favorites of the month. This again, just overall was one of my favorite spreads. This is quite a useless spread. I didn't even use it, so moving on. Then we have June. June was actually a very simple design, and I feel like I had some ideas of where I wanted it, like what I wanted it to look like, and it didn't end up giving what it needed to give. So it didn't end up being one of my favorites, but yeah, pretty simple. And now we move into this spread that I did that was supposed to be my favorite books so far. So I think it's meant to be like a in the corner it says January to June, but as you can see, I didn't follow through with it. So that's actually something I'm hoping to not do as much. Like, I feel like I start some spreads and then I get bored of them or forget about them. So yeah, hopefully we change that. But next here you see that bookshelf. So like I said, I needed more room. So then just at the middle here, I added another bookshelf and another page of writing down the books that I read. This next spread is a Summerween spread. So this is a readathon that Olivia Reads a Latte and Gabby Reads host. And yeah, it was my first time doing it and just wanted to make a fun little spread for that. And then we have July. July is another ugly one. Didn't put a lot of effort into it, I think. So yeah, let's just turn that page. There we go. Okay, August is another simple design. I think I was really going with the simple designs, but I actually like how this one turned out. Yeah, it's just a bit of a Polaroid picture theme. And then the favorites of the month. I feel like my favorites of the month spreads were the most fun and unique. September for 2021 was really nice though. I think this is another one of my favorites. Just turned out really well and I loved the colors. And it feels really fallish to me. And then some more favorites of the month. We got our quotes, books, and stats. And then this is a spread that I actually added, I think only in September, but it's just me tracking the books that I read for that month with pictures and star ratings. So then we move into October. I think overall I can safely say October is my worst spread of the year. I had really high hopes for October and I did not follow through. But I did have fun making those little doodles of the, ghosts and skeletons and things, but yeah, didn't really like this one. That's another spread we don't need to talk about. But, those are some recommendations if you want to screenshot that. And then we have November. This is another cute little sketch I did, doodle. But I actually don't think I ended up liking these colors that I chose, like this blue, green, and purple theme I had going on. Not my favorite. But now we're skipping some pages because everything in there is just random things that are not important. And we will finally turn to TV shows I loved in 2022. So I just wanted to add in some end of the year kind of spreads, and yeah, I had just fun making this, and those are some of my favorite TV shows. And lastly, we move into December. I actually didn't really read a lot in November or December, so I just quickly made the spread, and that's that. That's my 2021 flip through. Hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks for watching.